All right, hey everybody, this is Kevin. I am here at Callaway High School with Callaway High School graduate Keegan Woods. Keegan, how are you?
What's going on, man?
Yeah, I appreciate you doing this.
Yeah,
This is really cool. I think the last time we did an official interview, I think you were getting ready for your senior year
yeah, would
here
have
at
to been, yeah,
Callaway High School, which is back in 2016,
yeah,
which was an incredible season. But you've got some really exciting things going on right
yeah,
now, Keegan. You're based in Savannah
yeah.
right now. You're doing a lot of work with the Savannah Bananas and different teams, but basically just kind of tell the folks what you have going on right now, Keegan. Oh,
So, oh, you got it.
yeah.
Okay. So, right now, baseball season, working for the Savannah Bananas,
Okay.
doing live production work for their broadcast
Okay.
team.
Yeah.
We were recently on ESPN on the flagship one, ESPN.
How cool is that?
It's great.
Yeah.
It's a big moment,
Yeah.
coming from, I've been working for them. This is my third season with the Bananas,
Okay.
and seeing this evolve
Mhm.
from a collegiate baseball team in the summer
Right.
where the only people who are seeing our broadcasts are on Flow Baseball and like
Right.
special subscribers on
Right.
YouTube and getting paid pennies on the dollar per
Right.
game to now, I mean, we're in every city, we're in just every pocket of the country taking this thing nationwide,
Right.
and it's like it's insane. I mean, we've been on ESPN 1, 2, ESPN
Right.
Plus, Nesson up in the Northeast
Right.
where the Red Sox are
Mhm.
broadcast
They're
on.
selling out Fenway Park.
Yeah, yeah. We actually this weekend will be in Washington D.C. at the National Stadium, and
Yeah.
I would guess that it's a sold out show. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't see any universe where it's not at this point,
Right.
but
Yeah.
you know,
Well, and you mentioned you do like the replays and things for them, which is big because it's if there's something that's kind of made for television,
yeah,
it's a bananas, and a lot of times did that just really happen? You see that a lot
yeah,
with the bananas, and it's kind of your job to say yes, it did happen, and I'm going to show you exactly how and what did happen, right?
yeah. So with replay, the big thing is with TV, it's different. With regular like sports
Yeah.
broadcast on TV, it's a lot
Yeah.
different than how we have to do it because our game is so quick
Right.
that I might go to my replay and we're just getting back for the pitch in
Right.
time. It's not like the
Right.
normal pace of
Yeah.
baseball where it's slower and you have time
Right.
to really like show four different angles. I
Right.
mean, if somebody hits a backflip and catches the ball,
Yeah.
I got one quick angle and boom,
Yeah.
we're back. They're already throwing
Yeah.
the next pitch. So
Yeah.
it presents its own set of challenges, after working in like
Yeah.
other environments where it's more geared for TV and like
Right.
commercial breaks and stuff. But for the most part, all of our broadcasts, you catch them live on YouTube every
Hmm.
single time, unless we, have a deal with
Right.
somebody else. But
Right.
we're just kind of given the reins to do what we feel like, and
Yeah.
we've done a great job of, I think, building this thing
Yeah.
from scratch to the point
Yeah.
where it's at as far as working
Yeah.
as a broadcast team.
It's unreal. Tell me, how long have you been with Bananas?
So I started in the summer of 2022.
Okay.
That was their last year in the Coastal Plain League.
When they were still kind of a traditional team at
Yeah,
that point. Yeah.
yeah. So they were still playing collegiate woodbat summer
Right.
ball, and they were playing against the Macon Bacon and like
Right.
the
Yeah.
Lexington County Blowfish or
Uh,
teams like that. In
yeah.
the southeast that are just college guys who are
Yeah.
trying to stay sharp during the summer. And the next year, basically like the chronology of it
Yeah.
was in spring of
Yeah.
22, they did their first world tour, which was 6 cities,
Okay. Yeah.
and then they geared up for the last summer of collegiate baseball,
Right.
and that's about the time I came in
Okay.
because I had a buddy. His name's Clayton.
Hmm.
We work on a lot of stuff together. He was already in with the Bananas, and I hit him up around spring of 22. I was like, hey, get me in, please.
Right.
And our boss now, and at the time he was our boss then too,
Right.
is a dude named Chad, and I had
Yeah.
taken a class with Chad at Georgia Southern.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, Chad, please, like just text him, Chad, please put me on. He was like, oh brother, I got you for sure. So he brought me
That's
in,
awesome. Yeah.
and we did that summer series,
Yeah.
and then right at the end of that, we did ESPN 2,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
then they announced, hey, we're going on a 87 game
Wow.
world tour
Yeah.
to 30 different cities, and it was different. It was a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So we had to scramble to get gear, upgrade our cameras. I
Yeah.
mean, in those collegiate summer ball days, we
Right.
were using JVC camcorders. We
Wow.
weren't using broadcast
Right.
studio cameras. Like
Yeah.
we were using what we could find on a budget
Right.
to strap together and make this
Yeah.
thing work. And
Yeah.
now that we have the gear and we have the
Yeah.
people to do these things, I mean, it's
Wow.
the quality of work is crazy,
Yeah.
and it's just it's amazing to look at like where we
Yeah.
started and where we are
Yeah.
now.
What was that first world tour like? I mean, first of all, for a young guy to get to travel like that was probably pretty amazing, wasn't it?
So I didn't travel that
Oh,
much
gotcha.
because also our broadcast is half remote.
Okay.
So our control
Gotcha.
room is based out of Grayson Stadium,
Okay.
and our audio replay, switcher, graphics, and scoreboard operator is all out of the stadium in Savannah.
Okay.
And we send our producer and our our
Gotcha.
camera operators on the road.
Right.
And I was fortunate enough to travel
Yeah.
on a few dates last year.
Right.
My favorite of which was Kannapolis, North Carolina,
Yeah.
because me and a couple buddies, we went, hit the NASCAR Hall of Fame,
Oh, nice.
and then took a minute to enjoy
Yeah.
it, see some race shops, and then get to work.
Yeah.
So
That's really cool. Just kind of tell me, where did the interest in this come from? Was it going back all the way to high school, or when you got to college, did you realize this is something I really want to do?
not to like big up you or anything, Kevin, but I remember, getting towards the end of my high school career, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. I was like, I mean, Kevin Eckleberry gets paid to talk about high school sports.
It's not too bad.
Maybe there's a future in that. So when I went to Georgia Southern,
Right.
I started. I was going to be double majoring in journalism and film,
Right.
and after the the orientation or whatever,
Right.
I had met some people in the film program, and they really persuaded me a little bit more into that world instead of journalism. So I dropped that. And when I was in school, I was really focused on film, like, narrative film production,
Right.
rather than, like what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And then once I got out of college, I was really just looking for any opportunity I could possibly find. And this is the one that fell in my lap. And I had fun with it. I like being around sports.
Right.
And, the whole time, I always knew, like, I wanted to do something in sports. And I finally got the opportunity to do it. And I was like, you know what? Let's roll with it. Let's see what we can find.
Yeah, 100%. Also, I graduated from Georgia Southern as well, so you're a smart guy, Keegan. A few years before you did. But in addition to your work with the Bananas, tell me some of the other projects you're involved with.
So one thing that I've been fortunate enough to do is I have gotten a taste of pretty much every single piece of the video production industry at this point.
Right.
Still in the world of sports production, I also do instant replay and sometimes camera work for the Savannah Ghost Pirates.
Okay, nice.
They are the ECHL affiliate of the Florida Panthers.
Right.
And formerly the Knights. They just got reassigned this past season.
That's hockey, if people don't know.
Yeah. So the ECHL is like the third tier league of hockey in America.
Right.
And so they launched their first season the fall after the last CPL season of the Bananas.
Right.
So the guy just basically reached out to one of our Bananas people and was like, hey, we need people to run this show too. So we just kind of sunk into that that role.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. It really, the Bananas is kind of like what got me the foot in the door in the first place, but the Ghost Pirates is kind of where I really learned, like, okay, you've done broadcast, now you're doing arena shows, but you're kind of learning the same skill set and you're able to apply it in different ways.
Yeah.
And then I also, this past fall, started doing, for our local NBC affiliate, they do, for 12 weeks of the high school football season, they do a game of the week every Friday night. So I think I did about 7 last year, just because that's about all I was able to do. But I mean, some heavy hitters over there. Like we covered the regular season matchup of I think it was Calvary Day versus Savannah Christian. They met in the Final Four, right?
Right.
But they're in the same region, so they had a regular season matchup too, and we covered that game, and it was a really good game. On top of that, also doing some work for the Savannah Clovers. That is the soccer team in Savannah. They are in the NISA, which is like, again, 3rd or 4th tier soccer down there. But I've been able to do some work for them, and that's been pretty fun too. And finally, we also do Coastal Empire Wrestling, the independent wrestling show.
Oh, how awesome is that, man?
It's great. I'm a huge wrestling fan. I have been forever, and that was actually, of all these gigs that I've been able to, put together in Savannah, that was the first one I actually got technically. because me and my buddy Clayton, like I talked about, we had started, filming some local wrestling shows, and that's one that we wanted to get on. And they reached out to him, and he was like, he texted me. He said, "Man, I'm going on this Bananas tour. I need you to go do this and make sure we get it." So I went and did it, and we've been since April of 2022. We've been doing that show.
Oh my gosh.
Every single month. They just started doing them monthly, but they were doing them bi-monthly. But we've done it like every single show since April 2022. We've done it, and it's even that, like, to see how far we've gone in the production quality and how much better we've gotten as camera operators and editors. Like, it's amazing to see, and that channel's up to like 500 subscribers, and it had like none when we started. That's so awesome. Yeah. Well,
the cool thing is, I mean, pretty early in your career, you're getting to experience so many different things. Working with the Bananas, high school sports, wrestling. So I don't know if that's kind of been your goal, just maybe not to pigeonhole yourself, but to just really experience different things. And then as you go along, just kind of maybe narrow a little bit. But right now, it's just, man, you're just kind of wide open. You really enjoy that?
Yeah, I actually went and I tried the other kind of facets of the industry, and I did, like I said, when I was in school, I was really focused on like film and working on film sets and stuff. So I actually got the opportunity to do that, to work on Fear of the Walking Dead in 2023 in their final season. And to be honest, like, I finally got to do it, and I didn't like it as much as sports, because it's one of those things where, coming from like, playing football, you got to be on for 2 hours.
Absolutely.
2-3 hours. You guys just got to be on your game for 2-3 hours straight. And with like proper film sets, it's the opposite. It's a lot of hurry up and wait. And it's a lot of doing stuff, once, and then we reset, and then we do it again. And like, I don't know, I just like the fast pace of sports where it's like for 2 hours, 2-3 hours, you have to be perfect.
And it's unpredictable too. I know with the Bananas, you kind of have an idea what's going to happen, but at the same time, I'm sure stuff happens each game. It's like, wow, I did not expect that.
Definitely, and especially with the remote broadcast. I mean, we encounter technology problems from time to time, but it happens, man. You can't change that.
No,
it's gonna happen with anything.
And also, Savannah's such an awesome place. I was actually spent 10 years growing up living in Savannah. Me and my dad, we used to go to Grayson Stadium to watch the Savannah Braves back in the late 70s. And so it's so cool to see that stadium still out there. But how much you enjoy, making that your home base.
So, I mean, I get it. It's great. It's a nice historical ballpark. There are things I would change about it.
It's old.
I like it. I like the atmosphere. I mean, I liked it a lot more in the college league days. Just because, this is our home base. These are baseball games that are like, we're gunning for a championship. And the entertainment value stuff is fun, but I mean, that's what draws me still to, the hockey team and enjoying those days when we were doing collegiate or not pro, but collegiate league baseball, is that like we're playing for something, and it was great to experience that in Grayson Stadium, and have those moments where games on the line, and now you got 4,000 fans going crazy, 5,000 now. They just did some renovations, so we did get that, and that's doing better.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's touch real quick on your time here at Callaway. I know it's probably pretty cool for you to be back here. Behind us is the practice field where you spent a lot of time over the years, and you were actually a senior on a really memorable team here at Callaway High School, 2016. Team that made it to the state semifinals, where the season ended in Savannah against Benedictine. But the third round, I tell people, the best high school game or sporting event you've ever seen in person. And it was that victory over Scriven County where y'all go 98 yards to win it at the end. Of course, Dylan Johnson throws the touchdown pass to Braylon Sanders. What was that? First, what was that game like when you look back? It's been 8 years now, but that was a pretty amazing experience, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. I've gone back and actually watched some of these games because they're still up on, what is it, the radio station's YouTube.
Yes.
They still have the video broadcast that they would do. And I've gone back and watched some of these games from that 2016 year. I mean, that Scriven County game is still, because not only, like you said, 98 yards down the field, I mean, we converted 3 4th downs.
Right, yeah.
And I remember, I didn't play much offense, but I remember being sitting there on the sideline, and I was like, either this is going to be the greatest finish we've ever seen, or this is going to be the end of it all. And luckily for us, it ended up being the greatest finish we've ever seen, thanks to Dylan and thanks to what current Miami Dolphin Braylon Sanders.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. You mentioned Dylan Johnson, who was the quarterback on that team, and it's pretty cool. You mentioned to me you actually filmed his wedding,
Yep.
which is crazy. It made you think about Dylan being married, but gosh, how much fun was that? For first to be able to go share that experience, and then be able to shoot that wedding for him. That must have been pretty cool for you.
It was good, man. It was good seeing him and catching up with some folks.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed trying my hand at doing weddings. I haven't done that many. That was only probably like my third one, but it was good to do that for somebody who definitely definitely wants to see quality in their product, and I'm more than willing to deliver that.
Yeah, I'm like you said, it's just another branch on the tree, right? You go out and shoot weddings now, but I'm sure for you, it's like whatever the future holds. You're probably not exactly sure. I'm sure your thing is just whatever seems interesting, whatever seems fun. Obviously, the banana is going to be a big part of that. I'm sure that's kind of your goal. It's just whatever the next project is, just make sure it's something exciting and fun, right?
Yeah, for sure. I'm mostly trying to keep advancing with them. Out of all the things that I work on, they're the ones that they take up the most of my time.
Absolutely.
They're the most what's the word I'm looking for?
I mean, it's prestige.
Just like I guess comfortable through the year.
Right.
Is like they provide the most work and the most time in my schedule in any given year. So I'm all in on trying to stick with them, but the side gigs are fun. It's always good to have, especially in the freelance world. You have the opportunity to like go do something else for a week, and then you come back and it's like all right, let's put on a great baseball game.
Right. I should also mention your father, your dad, Eric Woods, who's a longtime coach here. It's really cool to me. He actually has a connection back to Hogansville High School. He coached there and then came here to Callaway when it started in 1996. I know he's such a big impact on you, not just sports wise, but on life wise. Just real quick, tell me how much he's meant to you and still means to you.
I'm ready for him to retire and get his flowers and just take some time for himself. I mean, one thing I tell people all the time is that when it came time for him to retire from football, he said to whoever he had to say it to, he was like, "Hey, I'm taking care of people's kids all day. I'm about to go home and take care of mine." And I was like, you know what? That's commendable and respectable, and it's really good to me that he was able to spend a lot of that time that I was playing ball in high school.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Focused on watching his kids play and not having to focus on. So I mean that was a great thing being in high school and being able to play the sport that you've always wanted to play because your dad was the coach. And then now his whole focus is making sure what to do and all that type of stuff. So I mean it's great. We still, even though I'm 4 hours away, we still talk a good bit. I'm always we're he's the one who he's the reason I'm a wrestling fan.
That's
so
awesome.
that's most of what we're talking about is did you catch what happened here? Did you see this rumors of what's happened in WWE? But yeah, man, we're still good.
Yeah.
Still good all the way.
That's awesome. We're both long-suffering Falcons fans, me and your dad, so we share correspondence over that. But this has been really fun. I'm sure, like I said, it's been pretty cool for you to be back here. I know to get a chance to catch up with some of the coaches here. Coach Wiggins, another guy who means a lot to you. But this has been really fun, and I appreciate you taking a few moments to share your story.
Absolutely.
And I know I'm really excited for you and just thrilled that you're out there doing what you want to do, and love to see my former Georgia Southern Eagles getting it done as well.
Yeah, it's a good time, man. I would say to anybody who ever would think about going into this industry, like there's something for everybody.
Yep.
And if you're willing to put the work in, if you're willing to keep knocking down doors until one opens for you, that's really all there is to it,
Right. Yeah, that's great. Well, listen, once again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.